Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second live show of the Basketball Champions League Final Late Countdown. My name is Dionys Sarvadinos. I'm from Eurohoops.net, and I'm joined by FIBA's expert Igor Tsurkovic. Hello, Igor. Welcome back to another live show.
Hey, man. The first one went really good, and I gotta say, some high expectations are now set for the second one too.
Yeah. So basically, the second one we're gonna have on Turk Telekom, another quite heavy favorite team to win the Basketball Champions League competition this upcoming tournament. And we're going to have on Sam Dekker, a new addition of the team. We're going to also bring Bahadir Agun from Eurohoops Turkey. He's going to also talk about and give us insights about the team, the transfers, and everything that's been going on around the past few weeks. And obviously, we're going to have you on, and we're going to talk about Turk Telekom as well. So, yeah, let's get it started. What's your first thoughts on Turk Telekom, and do you agree that they are, in fact, one of the favorites to win the competition?
Yeah, I mean, the first thought is first thing that comes to mind is basically ambition all over the place. Like, this team is here to challenge for the title, not just this season, but in the upcoming season. They lost a lot of guys. They changed their squad a little bit, but they brought in some elite level European players and international players. So I'm thinking that they're going to be fun to watch. And they already had a highly successful season, and with those new faces in, if not as this final eight, I think we're going to see them as the favorites in 2020-21.
Yeah, I was thinking the same based on the roster and the changes that they made this off season. And I don't know about this tournament because of it's still early on. It's a brand new team, lots of additions. But I think for next year, especially, that they're going to be like the team to beat. Obviously, back in whenever it stopped in March or February, the team finished first in Group A. They had an 11-3 record. They had won 7 straight wins in the Basketball Champions League tournament, so they were the team to beat, in fact. And obviously, we can't forget that they blew out basically Besiktas twice in the round of 16. What do you remember from these games? And yeah,
I mean, usually in the past of the Basketball Champions League, we had tricky round of 16 matchups when teams from the same country faced each other. So we had some upsets over the years, like including Besiktas in first season when they lost to Pinor Karšiaka, and then later on Tenerife lost to UCA Murcia in the second season. So seeing the draw and seeing that Turk Telekom ended up against their rivals from Turkey, I was thinking it's gonna be a close couple of games, but no way. Like, they controlled it from the tip off. They dominated. Like, they looked really in form, in the best shape, heading to the quarterfinals, such a high level. And basically, it's a shame for them that the season stopped, because I think that they could have been a top candidate to even host the Final Four because of their arena, because of their crowd. They had a lot of people coming to the games, and they made the impact. You could feel the crowd when you saw Mustafa Paul dunking or Nick Johnson flying or anything.
Yeah, and the team stats also from this year speak for themselves as well, because you had they were one of the best offensive teams. They were scoring around 84 points per game. They were rebounding. They were assisting. They had like 20 assists per game. Basically, they were in the top 10 of every category. And yeah, we'll see what happens. They play against Dijon in the quarterfinal. What do you expect from that game?
Dijon is a tough draw. Dijon won the French Cup and the Leaders Cup, and they've got a guy named David Holston, who is the most clutch player probably in the Basketball Champions League over the past 2 seasons. And Dijon did go through a lot of changes, but they did play one game already in the round of 16. They had to play the third game of their series against Nizhny Novgorod. So basically, Dijon have an upper hand because they had a win or go home situation. They kind of felt the pressure, and now they can go in relaxed because not a lot of people would see Dijon as the favorites compared to Turk Telekom in their matchup. Sort of similar like AEK and Nymburk. Like Nymburk
Yeah,
and Dijon are going to be really relaxed, and you have the pressure of expectations with AEK and Turk Telekom.
yeah. Yeah, so basically the team signed many players this off season. We had some talent from all around Europe. Obviously, they already had one of the best shooters in the competition in Kyle Wilder, and now they brought in Sam Dekker. They brought in Kiefer Sykes, Tyler Ennis, Michael Eric. So these are some guys that are definitely going to help in the elimination games this upcoming tournament. But one thing that stood out to me when I was checking the statistics and everything is that the team is pretty young. The average age of the team is 25 years old. They only have one guy over 30 in Michael Eric, 32 if I'm not mistaken.
32.
Yeah. So do you think that will play a role in the elimination games? Do you think that it's the exact opposite that we were discussing on Friday with AEK, where AEK has all the veterans, etc.?
I'm not sure because you have guys like Sam Dekker who has a lot of NCAA experience in elimination games, and you have guys like Kamar Baldwin, who's also a 4-year grad from the NCAA from the Butler Bulldogs, and you have a lot of guys who have that kind of experience from the NCAA and know how to win under pressure. So it could go either way. The only thing that they can be concerned about is because of all the changes, how long will it take for them to click, to get on the same page? And other than that, talent-wise, like they look extremely exciting. Like this is the team to watch because there's going to be a lot of free basketball, a lot of shooting from the big guys, a lot of dunking from Michael Eric and all the others, and a lot of let's call them extravagant passes from Muhammad Baigul and the other guys.
You mentioned shooting, and during the season they made 10 threes per game. So basically, all the dunks, all the three-pointers, everything, the young talent coming in, I think it's going to be very exciting. We're going to have on Bahadir Agun from Eurohoops Turkey right now. Let me put him in. About the insights of the team, the new signings, the key players. Hello.
Hello.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, I hope you can see me and hear me pretty well.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us. And we're talking with Igor about the team in general and the changes that they made this off season. They obviously got some really interesting guys to watch. In Kiefer Sykes and Sam Dekker, Tyler Ennis, Michael Eric, and more. Basically, I was looking at the numbers, and they had 9 players, if I'm not mistaken, that they signed. But they got rid of some players as well. What do you have to say about the players that didn't sign a contract extension with the team?
Well, first of all, as you said, they've signed some remarkable players, actually. The players with NBA and EuroLeague experiences. So these players definitely know how to play in the high level, how to play in certain levels, and how to play in different competitions. As you said, even if they're still so young, they still know how to play in the high level. But as you said, also they decided not to sign with some other players like Mustafa Fall, and they left the team. Kenny Country, CJ Harris, TJ Campbell. These were the players that were actually kind of carrying them throughout the season until this far. However, they decided to change the team, and the core has actually changed almost completely. So we are actually talking about a different team here. We're not talking about the same Turk Telekom that has reached the top 8 right now. So that's why I think about their decision not to sign with these players, or the players' decision not to sign with the team. I still think Turk Telekom has strengthened its squad pretty well. They signed these amazing players, and as you also mentioned during the talk, in my opinion, the only issue for them could be the being the team issue. We don't know when they're gonna click. We don't know if they have enough time for the Basketball Champions League top 8. But for sure, they're gonna be some good powerhouse next season, in my opinion, when they click, especially.
How long do you think it's gonna take them to click, to get on the same page? Because it's a lot of young players. We mentioned there's only one person who's older than 30 in their squad.
I think that depends on their backcourt rotation because, in my opinion, they have one of the best frontcourt rotations in Europe, to be honest, because they've signed players like Sam Dekker. They kept also Kyle Witcher, which I think is a huge achievement because, in my opinion, he could have been, I mean, the teams with bigger budgets could have been attracted to Kyle Witcher, especially considering that NBA market will not be there this summer for the other teams. So it's a great, huge achievement for Turk Telekom to be able to keep Kyle Wiltshire and then sign Michael Eric, Sam Dekker and these all players. So I think their front-court rotation is already there to be used and to play with each other because also, at least on paper, it seems that it's a very well harmonized front-court rotation. However, we don't know much about Tyler Ennis, especially following his unfortunately tragic injury. So it's gonna be a huge, issue for them to solve. If he gets back from this injury well, in the regular season, especially in top 8, we will, I think we can see a really good Turk Telekom team. However, during the preparation period, they unfortunately got a really, devastating result, even if it's a preparation game against the Red Star, against Crvena Zvezda. So after that result, they signed with Hyperstacks, which is, I think, a move that was made to solve their issues in the backcourt rotation. So, in my opinion, if the backcourt rotation can click, which I think would take a bit of time, especially considering playing without the fans, and because we don't know what regulations by each country will be, so local authorities. But depending on their adjustment, their adaptation to the system, I think Telecom can be a real big favor, even if last year, as I said, they changed the squad completely. So now they have a really significant tournament in front of them to play with a totally new team.
Yeah. On paper, what strengths do you see the team having, the new roster actually having?
Well, definitely front court, as I mentioned, because they have experience, even if not the experience of playing together, but the experience of playing at high level. So that's for sure is going to be a plus for them. And I think that's why it's a huge, strength, especially against their first opponent, Dijon. So I think this is going to be really big deal for them to use. And other than that, also their coach has been there for a good long while now. It's been 3 years. Even if the team changed, he has a system, and he has at least important players like Kyle Wilson and Mohamed Weiger who knows the team and knows to play within his team. So I think those guys will be leading their new teammates to the new system, to the new structure in the team. As I said, I don't know how it will, affect the team, but I think their biggest strength is definitely the front court rotation.
So what's the weakness then?
The weakness is, the adjustment and the adaptation period between the especially backcourt players, because this is a totally new team. They never played a game that actually matters so far. So that's a very big deal. And as I said, again, we also don't know how Tyler Ennis will be back from his injury. But on a good note, on their defense, they actually signed not only these great players with the NBA and EuroLeague experiences, but also they changed their domestic player core too. And their domestic players are very well experienced, and they also know how to play European and international competitions. So that's another strength for them. But again, we do not know how they will be adjusted to play together.
Mm-hmm. Well, Bahadir, thank you so much for joining us. It was our pleasure giving us your insights, and we're gonna move on to Sam Dekker.
Yeah, thank you so much. And
Yeah.
have a nice day. Bye.
It's gonna be interesting talking to Sam Dekker. He's like
Yeah.
a semi-colleague of ours.
Yeah. So basically, what Bahadir also mentioned was the preseason, and the team had 2 wins, but also they lost pretty bad to Red Star. They lost by 30 points, if I'm not mistaken. Even though it's a friendly game, does it show anything? What do you think about that?
I'm never like. You have to understand that I'm from Croatia, and like Croatia usually is the champion of the preparation games. Every single big tournament, Croatia always looked the best in the preparation games, and when the tournament starts, we look the worst. So I don't believe in preparation game results. I do believe that they saw some issues and they handle them and do whatever they have to do to be on the right level already at the final 8 and possibly for the next season too.
And now Sam Dekker is also joining us. Let's talk to him. Hello, Sam.
Hello. You got me?
Thank you so much for joining us.
Of course. Good to be here.
Yeah, Igor.
Sam, welcome to the show. First of all, it's been so long since you played. How does it feel to finally have basketball back? How does it feel to have competitive basketball back?
I think that's the main thing, competitive basketball. We've been able to play, in the summer 1-on-0 or, in the fall, here in training camp, been playing against the same guys every day. And we only had a couple friendly matches. So to be able to scout a team and be excited to play a real game and to jump right into single elimination, winner takes all, it's going to be pretty intense. So I think this will be a great start to the season and hopefully a great end to last season's Champions League.
Yeah. How do you feel about the final 8 competition in general, traveling to Athens, playing in all these elimination games, even if it's the start of the season right now?
No, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be 8 teams that want that championship and 8 good teams. I think ourselves included, everyone has added some pieces here just to make a run at this title. So I think it's going to be a very unique circumstance, and I think teams are going to come together right now for one goal, one common goal. And I think that's what's going to elevate the level of play for everyone.
Even if it's at the start of the season?
Pardon?
Even if it's at the start of the season, something we haven't seen before?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
You're going to play against Dijon, who are a really strong French side. You should have had like the home court advantage if you face them in the best of 3 series. Now it's going to be just one game. How do you see it, like percentage-wise? Would you say 50-50? Would you say 75-25 for you guys or for them?
Well, this is definitely 50-50 because it's just one match. You got one game, and you have to bring everything to the table. This kind of reminds me of the NCAA tournament, where if you don't come to play, you're going to lose and go home. So, I've had some experience there. Kyle as well. We have guys that have played in these big games like this. So having that experience it won't feel too weird to me because I've been in that position where all you have is one game. So let's go do our thing. So I think it'll be cool to get back into that mindset, and you kind of put all your individual stats and stuff aside, and you're going to do the extra little things just to get a win for your club.
Yeah. So you like playing in elimination games? That's what I'm getting from your
It's so much fun. It's so much fun.
Yeah. You mentioned that you've had some preseason games, some friendly games. You've played against 3 or 4 teams, if I'm not mistaken. How do you feel about your preseason and getting adjusted, getting to know the new guys because it's a new team for you?
For sure, it's new for everyone. It's new for me. Just only my second year over here in Europe, so. We had three games in Ankara, and I thought we played really well. worked on some things, and then we obviously went to the Gloria Cup, and that got cut short. But we played Red Star. We were shorthanded. Basically, had 6 guys, and they had 12.
We were talking about that earlier, and we were saying whether it actually counts. Is it something to worry about, or is it just another friendly game that they didn't have enough guys, they didn't play as hard?
Yeah, no, I think if you watch the first 15 minutes of that game, you kind of saw who we were. It was either a tie game or a 2 3-point game for those first 15 minutes, and then we ran out of gas a little bit. It's still early. We're getting in shape, learning each other. I wouldn't say that was a finished product. We had 2 guys out, 1 guy, another guy wasn't feeling great. So we basically played 6 guys, and we had 4 of our young guys come up and help us. So throw them in a game against Red Star, it's not easy. And so you can take good things and bad things from a loss like that. And I don't think I'm too worried about that. We have a very good team, and a team that will be very hungry come Athens.
Mm-hmm. What's the coach's message and the front office message in general? Like, is this Final 8 a priority for you guys, or is it just like a build-up for the next season and to finish strong in the next season and be one of the top teams in all of Europe?
I think this is definitely a priority right now, because this is going to be something that it's unique. It's kind of unprecedented what's going on. So if we come out and win 3 games here to start the season, I think that really puts us on a roll to go into the season. And if you look at our roster from top to bottom, I think it's a very, very good roster. And I think a team that can really compete in Turkey and in Champions League. So I really think this could start us off on a really good note. And our front office has been excited, and our coaching staff is really focused right now to get this first win and then hopefully get a championship.
Yeah. Would you say though that your guys' best performances won't come until December, January, when you guys start to click and start having the best chemistry? Because you are a new team. They are some new guys that came to the roster this offseason, and these are the first games that you're playing, first competitive games after so long.
I think so. It always takes a little bit of time to mesh, as you know. And I learned, last year in Loco, we got bounced from Euro Cup early on, and then I think we won 10 of 11 down the stretch in the VTB in some really tough games. So it's one of those things that it takes time to really come together. But that's why we're doing this, pretty intense training camp and really getting after it, because we want to expedite that process. We want to bring guys together as quick as we can and have as complete of a product for when we're in Athens.
Let's talk a little bit about Sam Dekker. What prompted you to sign with Turk Telekom? Was it a sort of a Houston Rockets, Rio Grande Valley Vipers connection, because you have a couple of teammates from those days?
Yeah, it's that was definitely part of it. Talking with Kyle Wilcher and Tyler Ennis, 2 guys I played with in Houston, that having familiar faces like that, guys I've been on the court with, that definitely helps. So talking with them and talking with Coach Barak and getting Michael Eric, just guys like that when you can kind of see a roster shaping, kind of gets you excited to be a part of something like that. And right now with COVID, there's so many uncertain things going on out there. If I was going to be stubborn and too prideful and wait for certain jobs, sometimes those aren't going to open up for guys. And so I saw this is a great opportunity to be in a good team, a good club, a team that can compete at a high level and have a chance to win some championships. And I really appreciate the front office and the coaching staff for wanting me to be a part of that. And hopefully this sets us up, individually for a lot of success in the coming years and as a club.
Yeah. How do you enjoy living so far in Turkey?
It's great. I really like it. It's, I enjoyed my time in Russia last year, but I'm a little more comfortable in Turkey. Ankara is, such a big city, and a little more English is spoken, which helps. And obviously having teammates too that that I've been with for many years helps for sure. So I'm really enjoying it. It's been a fun city to explore and fun country overall. And just seeing the new places and new cities, it's really beautiful to be a part of.
How do you feel about playing in Europe? Like, did you have any assumptions on what it would look like, and what did you say to your American friends? Like, what does it feel to be playing European basketball? Is it all that different compared to US?
It really is. It's much different. I think just you kind of have to turn your NBA brain off and turn on your European basketball brain. It's almost
just keep one brain on.
Yeah. No, I would explain it. It's more it's a higher level NCAA basketball in terms of there's less space, no illegal defense. Every possession is very, very, very important. So it's a really cool brand of basketball where everything is, you got to be exact. And if you aren't, teams are going to take advantage of you, and they scout so well that you have to be on your A game every night. So definitely, it definitely took a minute for me to get used to, but I've really enjoyed it. It's helped me as a player, and it's helped me mature on and off the court.
A follow-up question on Igor's main point. Is it something that bothers you when Americans don't necessarily take European basketball so serious? And that's pretty my follow-up.
Yeah, it's weird. In the States, European basketball isn't on much. The one time or two times you're gonna have a EuroLeague team on your TV is when a Real Madrid goes to Dallas for a preseason game, or Barcelona, or a team like that, and sometimes wins. And people are like, "Wait, what is this?" And obviously, some big names will go to Europe, and people get a taste of it and watch a game or two, but you don't really know until you're over here. I think most Americans think they're going to go to Europe and be like, I'm going to score 18, 20 points every night. It doesn't happen, I use Jan Vesely as a good example. He won EuroLeague MVP, scoring 12 points and grabbing 6 rebounds a game. It's all predicated on winning and being efficient and being unselfish and buying into winning basketball. And as an NBA player, that seems a little weird at first, but it starts to make sense once you really get into the game and get used to it.
Mm-hmm.
If you had to pick out, you talked about the differences between European basketball and the NBA. You had to pick out like one thing that you prefer about European basketball that you liked straight away. What is it?
Maybe the ball movement. You're not going to have many teams where it's one guy dribbling for a whole possession. Obviously, the pace in the NBA fits maybe my game a little better, but in terms of spacing the floor and really moving the ball and using my passing ability and stuff, the European basketball is pretty fun for me when the ball is really snapping around, and it can really be really beautiful sometimes. You see guys that played in Europe that have success in the NBA. A guy like Manu Ginobili, his extra pass and his reading the game, he brought that over to the States, and you can really see a lot of guys with that same mentality over here, making those little passes and making the game much easier for your teammates.
Yeah. Even though you touched on it a little bit, I wanna take you back to your team, Turk Telekom, because this off-season, besides signing you, they were busy. Many players decided to go somewhere else and sign a deal somewhere else, but you guys brought in some very, very talented players in Kiefer Sykes, in Michael Eric, in Tyler Ennis, as you mentioned. Obviously, they already had Kyle Wilder, your friend. What can you say about these guys and what it's like going up against them in practices?
Yeah, bringing in, like you said, a guy like Kiefer gives us another scoring threat, another guy that the defense has to really, pay attention to, and a guy the defense has to respect. And so that makes our jobs easier as well. We can play off of that. And then Michael Eric is a proven winner, and you're a EuroLeague vet, and a really good leader for our team. And last year in Baskonia winning the ACB, I mean, knocking out Barcelona, who was stacked last year, that's impressive. So to have a guy with championships under his belt will help us in big games. And I didn't realize how big of a dude he was. He's gonna be dangerous in the paint. I think especially defensively, just intimidating, guards and really bailing us out when we make bad plays defensively. He can be in there and be a difference maker. So I think we have a pretty well-shaped roster to win some games and pick each other up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna stay on Kiefer Sykes for a minute or two. First, a piece of trivia for you: Kiefer Sykes is actually the record holder in the Basketball Champions League with 43 points in one game. So there's a target for you personally to attack next season. And the other thing is, he has a documentary. I think it's called Chi-Town. Did you watch it?
I did. It was really well done. I actually watched that. I think I watched it a year and a half ago. His story is amazing, and he played right up the street from us in college at UW Green Bay. So we played him every year when I was at school, and one of the most athletic guys that I've ever been on the court with. I actually watched that Champions League record-breaking game the other day. And just to see how he can help us and how can I help his game. So it's been fun to have him around. He's a dynamic offensive player, an energy guy, a freak athlete. So it's gonna be nice to have him on the court and maybe get in the open court and have some explosive plays with him. And those are the type of guys that can win you ball games and get you some momentum.
Yeah. So obviously, before we go and I make our final point, we do have a couple of more questions before we let you go. We talked about that before you came on as well. You guys are a pretty young team considering how many years you've played in both the States and in Europe. The average age for your team is 25 years old. You only have one guy who's over 30, Michael Eric. So my question is that something that you like about your team, or is it something that, especially come Athens time, in crunch time situations, you need that veteran leadership? And how do you view that?
Yeah, I think age can work both ways. I think we're seeing that in the NBA playoffs right now. Sometimes young teams, there's sometimes where the big stage can be a lot for them, and sometimes you're so young you don't even realize what you're doing. You don't realize how big stage is hooping. And I think we have a good mix of that. Michael Eric being 32, but he's played in huge games. And then Tyler Ennis is 25, my age, and but he's in 7th year as a pro and played in big games at Syracuse. And same with me. I'm in my 6th year as a pro. Played in NBA playoff games, played in NCAA tournaments. Kyle, so we have guys that have played in really, really big situations and highly televised games, high pressure games. So I don't think this is going to be anything too crazy for us. I think the guys are ready. We're focused, and we all have that one goal in mind.
Yeah.
There's no hiding from it. You're going to be one of the favorites of the tournament. Do you see that as an advantage or as a challenge, or do you feel any pressure at all? Because Dijon are basically, they can say, "Oh, we're relaxed. We're if we lose, we're going to lose to Sam Dekker and Tyler Ennis."
We are the underdog.
Yeah, there's a little bit of pressure with that, but I think pressure is good. It means that people expect things out of you. You got to take pressure as a compliment. People expecting that you're going to win means that you have something to uphold. And that's kind of the mindset I have. And I'm trying to keep my teammates on that same level with, people are going to be trying to knock us off. We have, former NBA guys, we have EuroLeague guys, we have a target on our backs, but we have to embrace that and use that as motivation to every day we can slip. So, if we stay focused, I think we have a chance to win a lot of games, and we have to have that focus that first night because Dijon, they could knock us off.
Mm-hmm. Well,
one last question. Yeah, one last question, please. You said
go ahead.
you mentioned that you watched the NBA playoffs. So who's gonna win the NBA?
It's hard to go against the way Los Angeles looks right now, especially after Anthony Davis hit that shot last night. That really that's a blow for Denver. But we've seen Denver come back. I really like Miami in the East, and I think Los Angeles in the West. And then then anything goes in the finals. We've seen favorites get knocked off. We see Dallas beat Miami years back. We've seen crazy things happen in the finals. So especially this year in the bubble, you never know. But LeBron and Anthony Davis are a hard duo to beat.
Mhm. Denver needs to get the series to 3-1, and then
I know that's what I said. They're doing exactly what they want right now. They're trying to fall behind so they can get Jokic and Murray going.
Well, Sam, thank you so much for joining us. That was it.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and then I guess we'll see you in Athens, and good luck in the Basketball Champions League Final 8 tournament.
Thank you so much. We'll see you soon. Bye, guys.
Yeah, have a good night. Bye-bye. Okay, so that was Sam Dekker, everyone. We pretty much talked about everything. Igor, do you agree?
Yeah, I agree. It was fun talking to Sam. We did torture him a bit more, but he's such a great dude to talk to, and I enjoyed it really much. Like, it felt like he was sitting right next to us, and we were just chatting like over a couple of beers.
yeah, he is a great guy. I think I do have because last time we ended with predictions, and you said that predictions are not your specialty because then suppose that I think I don't know. Because I was looking at the rosters. I think that this team was. I'm predicting that they go all the way. I don't know if I'll be right. I don't know if I'm going to be wrong, but
if I say they're gonna go all the way, like I'm just naysaying what I've been saying all season long, that Hapoel Jerusalem are gonna win it because they have to go through Hapoel in the semifinals, and
that's another.
Hapoel had the best ranked offense of all time in the BCL in the short history, but it was just a crazy stellar offense where you have no idea who to stop. So basically, if they can go through David Holston's heroics and then through Hapoel, they're gonna win everything.
Yeah, but as Sam said, anything can happen in elimination games. We've seen it in NCAA tournaments. We've seen it in European competitions as well, in FIBA World Cups. I don't know. Predictions are way tougher in that kind of tournaments.
Yeah, I mean, just because of their experience. I mean, Kyle Wiltshire won the NCAA with Kentucky in his freshman year, even though he barely played, but he was a piece of that puzzle. And then Sam played the final with Wisconsin, so they have a lot of big-time experience, and they love the attention over there, so it could happen. And one thing, like we talked all the time about their foreign players, but their Turkish players are really good. And one guy that I really enjoy watching is Muhammed Baygul. He is a sneaky shooting guard. Like he's not the fastest man alive, but he keeps on getting easy points in transition, and he can shoot, he can pass, and he's like in NBA they have the 50-40-90 club, and Baygul is about to enter a 50-50-90 club in Basketball Champions League because he's shooting like 49.5% from the field, 50% for three, and it's like 20 of 40. It's not 2 of 4. And he's got 89.6 in free throws. So basically, he's right there. That just tells you like how sneaky, low key, efficient he can be, and they can expect a lot of great stuff from their Turkish guys too.
Yeah. Well, I think we touched pretty much everything. If you don't have anything else to add, that was our preview for Turk Telekom. We had Bahadir on from Eurohoops. We also had Sam Dekker. Also, Igor Tsurkovic gave his insights. And then we're going to keep on bringing you these preview shows until the final Champions League starts. Until then, I will host Dionys Sarvadinos. Igor, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. And we'll see you soon, everyone. Thank you. Bye-bye.